לעילוי נשמתו של אליהו בן עמנואל.
Amen.
So, we talked already twice about some aspects of metalearning as ideas behind what really learning should be. And we saw one component in the Sugya in Maseret Shabbat, talked about Yirat Hashem as a type of a cement, as something that cements together this way of partitioning your life between, your daily activity that has a need for bracha, the times that you appoint for Torah, and v'chule v'chule. We saw all different 6 points that correspond to the 6 days of the week. Not that you're supposed to do one day and the other one other day. It's actually, you're supposed to actually spread over the 6 days, but they have the quality of the 6 days of the week. And obviously it relates to the 6 Sedarim, 6 orders of the Mishnah. And I'm not going to do like I did last time, which is basically repeating the first shiur. Today is like Leomer. Sefer HaZohar is made of different levels of revelation, different transmissions of wisdom which was drawn down. And one which is a part of the Zohar which is very, very dear to my heart, thanks to my master who was really breathing, eating, drinking those words, was what's called the Sabba Mishpatim. It's the first part of Parashat Mishpatim in the Zohar. And Ha'iloki Rabbi Yitzchak Diari himself reveals that actually Rabbi Abba Saba, who is the name of this old sage, was the teacher of Adonenu Bar Yochai. As he says that not that Rabbi Shimon came down to teach Rabbi Abba Saba, but quite the opposite. Rabbi Abba Saba came down to teach Rabbi Shimon. And you see it throughout Kidvei Ari that this was the original teacher, you can say, of the Ari. That is even the Galut, the revelation that he had on the island of Rawda on the Nile. Some of us are of the opinion that actually it was this old man who was being revealed to him. Only that the generic title, the generic name of Gilui Eliyahu Navi, of the revelation of Eliyahu Navi was the generic name, but nothing more than that. Just telling you what process was taking place. And we have a piece here which talks about our metalearning. Only that till now we looked at it from the side of Yir'ah, of fear. But now we're going to look at the ideal of Ahava, at the side of love, of devotion. So I will read each and every word in Aramaic and just give a translation as it comes. So this is in what's called Sabba Mishpatim, so Parashat Mishpatim, in Sefer HaZohar. In the Vilna edition, it's Chalek Sheni, since it's Sefer Shemot, and it's Daf Tzaditet Amud Aleph. Kama bnei alma בערבוביה בסחלתנו דילהון. Humanity, human beings, in their confusion due to their intellect, do not la haman be'orach keshot be'oraita. They do not see in the way of truth of Torah. So of saying they relate too much to their intellect. There is what appeals to them intellectually, what their mind tells them as being the thing. And so they cannot relate in the sense of see. They can't see in the truth of path, in the path of truth in Oraita. But actually Oraita is calling them every day. You know, binhimu is a very interesting expression. You could even say softly murmuring, if you don't say cooing. So she calls them. She calls towards them. She even murmurs softly. But they are not ready to turn head, to even pay attention. They won't give her the attention. And why wouldn't they give her the attention? For a very simple reason. Because of their sechel, because of their intellect. So they can't relate to her. They can only relate to what their intellect tells them to relate to. They're not ready to turn their head. It says, "Ve'af al gav de'amena de'haoraita mila nafka minartika." Though I told you, and that's obviously the Sabba talking. You know, when we say Sabba, it's about the old soul. It's the Ari saying that Rabbi Abba Sabba was never born of a woman. We're not talking about the Amora of the same name. We're talking about this consciousness which predates Rabbi Abba Sabba, which was then incarnated in Rabbi Abba Sabba the Amora. He says, I told you that Oraita, so what is Oraita? It's Torah. But, you know, we won't simplify it in saying that it's just Torah. And we'll see by the end why. She takes a matter out of its sheath. And she has it seen for a moment. May it's seen for a moment. Umiyad itamarat achihu wadai. But immediately, almost immediately, it is being hidden away. Certainly so. Uvezimna dedgaliat migo nartika. And at that point, that fleeting amount of time, that point where actually she revealed it out of its sheath, with tamarat miyad. Actually, it's so fleeting that immediately she hid it away. La avdat da, she did not do so. Ella le'inun beyadin ba, but for those that know her. This was done for those that know her, wishtemodian ba, and those that recognize her. Matal, a parable. Lema adavar dome. What is it similar to? What is the parable? Lir himta deihi shapirta behezo or shapirta berewa. To a beloved maiden who is beautiful in form and beautiful in appearance. Wehi timirta bitmiru goechaladila. And she is secretly concealed in her palace. She has a unique beloved. That men in general do not know. They do not know about her love, but they do not know about him also. He's a nobody, but he's the beloved of Oraita. Ela ihu bitmiru, but only him in hidden, in a concealed way. Hahu rahima migo rahimu dirahim la. says this, beloved, out of the love he has for her. Is this normal? Connecting? Out of the love he has for her. Avar litra beta, tamid, passes her gate constantly. Zakif einoi lechol setar. He raises his eyes to all sides. Ihi yadat deharehima asrach teraveta tadir. She knows that this beloved, that the beloved, holds around her gate constantly. Ma avdat. What does she do? Patchat pitcha Zeira. She opens a small window. Be'ahu echala timira. On this very hidden palace, Dehi Taman, where she is, Wegaliat and Paha legabe rehima'a, and she reveals her face to her beloved. Umiyad aedarat with kasiyat, but immediately, almost instantly, she actually withdraws and conceals herself. Kol inun dehawo legabe rahima lacham. All those that were nearby, that were near the beloved, did not see. Wela istakalu, did not notice. Bar rahima bil chodoy, apart for her beloved alone. Only he sees, only he saw, only he paid attention. Ume'oy welibe wenafshe azlu avatra, and his bowels, his inner self, his heart, his nefesh, his soul, go after her. Wayada. And he knows that from the love that she has for him, it is out of this love that she revealed for a little instant, to arouse him. Such is the word of Oraita, the matter of Oraita. La'id galiyat ela legabe rehima'a. It is only revealed to that to which loves her, to her beloved. Yadat Oraita de'ahur hakima deliba asrar litra beta. She knows that this wise of heart, hakima deliba, asrar litra beta, is prowling around her gate. Kol yoma, every day. Mavdat. What does she do? Galiyat anpa'a legabe. She reveals her face. Migo echala, from her palace. We armizat le remiza. And she beckons, or you could say attracts his attention, or signals a remez, a hint. Umiyad aidarat leatra, but she withdraws back to her place immediately with tamarat and hides away. This is the way of Oraita. This is the ideal of learning. As you hear, this doesn't come out of Yira. This doesn't come out of fear of God. This comes out of profound devotion, profound love. He continues and says, Kol inun v'tamanu. All those that are there, layade, they have not known. In other words, some others are there, but they have not known anything. Wela mistakle, and they have not even noticed anything. Ela ihu bil chodoi, only him he saw. Only him he paid attention. Only him he noticed. Umeoi welibe wenafshe, and his bowels, his innards, libe, his heart, wenafshe, his soul, azila batra, go after her. We'alda oraita idgaliat witkasiat. She reveals and she conceals. She reveals herself and she conceals herself. We'azlat birhemu legabe rechimai. And she approaches with love her beloved, leit ara ba'adei rechemu, in order to arouse with him love. Tahazeh. Arha de Oraita, the path of Oraita, kahu. Such it is. Bekadmita kacharya leid gala'a legabe barnash armizat le birmizu. Says at the beginning, she starts by revealing to him, towards this barnash, this man, this beckoning, signaling of a hint. She only starts with hints. Yadatav, if he knows, well, good. We Ilayada, but if he doesn't know, what does she do? What do you think that Oraita does if he doesn't know to pay attention that she actually is signaling, attracting his attention with hints? What do you think she does if he doesn't know to pay attention, if he doesn't know to see so? Shadarat legabe, she sends him a message. Wekarat le petit, and she calls him simpleton, fool. Amrat oraita leahud shadarat legabe. She tells, in essence, to the one to which she sent this message. What is she telling him? Imru leahu. She says to this petty, to this simpleton, Deikrav acha, that he would approach. Come here. She tells him to approach. Weishtai ba'adeh, and she will talk to him. You see, my master, Alav Shalom, was saying, make sure you approach Oraita. Don't have her approach you. Mm-hmm. No, we all know it in question of even minhagim, of going towards Sefer Torah and not having the Sefer Torah come to you. Mm. But in the essence of the experience, you are here to recognize what she is signaling to you, the way she tries to attract you. And you are not here to have her make sure that you would pay attention to her. Oraita isn't cheap. Her beauty is beyond. She shows very little of it. it's a fleeting moment. It's for you to pay attention. If you don't, she sends you a message. And she tells you, petit, simpleton, fool. From where are those words? Ha'ud yirtiv, as it says in Sefer Mishlei. Mi petit yasur hena, hasar lev. He says, whomso is thoughtless, is a simpleton, is a fool, may he turn in. May he go out of his way, what actually attracts him. He moves away from that. That he turns in to me, obviously. Hasar lev, lacking of heart. You see, the Sabbat Mishpatim sees a dichotomic approach to wisdom. On one hand, it's Hakima Deliba, the wise of heart. On the other hand, it's Haser Lev, he lacks heart. It's this or that. You don't have much of a gray zone here. Or you participate in drawing down wisdom, or you are just stuck with your intellect and what attracts you there. You see, the beauty of a Raita is not in what attracts your mind, in what your intellect pays attention to, in what satisfies your mind. No, it's about what satisfies her, what corresponds to the love she has for you. She has. And that you are to reciprocate. Not out of your interest in her, of what you thought that, that talks to me. No. She doesn't care about what talks to you. You should care about her. Who is she to you? Master Al-Vashalom, what she say? She came back home, she came back to the palace, and she says, he doesn't love me. He has nothing to do with me. Who am I to him? What is this mind that looks after what talks to his intellect, his logic, his reasoning, his sense of things? Who is this man? And so she sends him this petek, this little word. And of course it comes, it comes just like, just like the queen would send an invitation. It comes in beautiful form. It doesn't come as a small thing. It comes in a true and actually concrete form. Before, it was only about a matter of him paying attention to her as she reveals herself from the palace. This time it takes a very concrete form. And she tells him, simpleton, just come here. We have some unfinished business here. But when he knows to approach her, qu'arrive les gabas, Shariat Limaela ime mi batar paruchta. She starts to talk to him. She starts to converse from behind a thick curtain, parochet. The parsalé that she actually drew, that she actually spread for him. Milin le fumorchol, matters words in function of his way. Ad yistakal zer, till he actually pays this little attention. Little by little, he actually sees Wedahu drasha. And that is the point which is called drasha. Now pay attention. Before he talked about remiza, this was remez. We talk usually about the pardes, of being made of pshat, of remez, of drush and sod. But he didn't start with the pshat. And he will tell you right after, just in a few sentences, he'll tell you why. He started with the remez. Because, you see, the pshat is what already exists. It's for you to know to come back to it once you actually not got the attention of a writer, but that she finally got your attention. When she got your attention, then there was a sense of this remez, of this hint. But that's just the beginning of the process. And the beginning of the process is, are you paying attention? Do you love her enough that you see what's beautiful about her? That you can actually see that she revealed something? Second step is this drasha, which is what? Which we said that she starts talking because he approached her. And she talks behind a parochet. Levatar tishtae bade mibatar shushifa dakik. Later on, she talks, she converses with him from behind a thin veil or a thin sheet. Milin dehida, words of riddles, matters in riddles. Weda ihu agada. And this is a part which is called agada. And according to the very teacher of Adonai Bar Yochai, this comes after Drush. This comes after. This is like what makes this transition from the Dalet of Pardes to the Samer of Pardes, from Drasha to Sod. Because can one imagine that actually you would have that process happening immediately? No, it necessitates, it actually requires some transition, some very contemplative transition, which is called Agada. Now, you might tell me, well, there's in Hebrew, there is Haggadah with a He, and Agadah, like with an Aleph. But actually, that's a misnomer. The Agadah with an Aleph came from the term Agadah in Aramaic, which was for Lehagid, to say, like you have the part of Magid in Leila Seder. We are 34 days after Leila Seder, just almost tonight. And this is this part where we finally know, or start to know, for those who know, for those who pay attention, what was on Leila Seder. Continues and says, Levatar, later, after that, the Ihur Ragil Legaba, because at that point he is accustomed with her. She is not this fleeting beauty. She isn't this extraordinary moment of revelation. He actually knows well about her. He's accustomed to her presence. He is accustomed to her beauty. He is accustomed to what she wants him to find beautiful in her. Itgaliat legabe, anpin be'alpin. At that point, she reveals herself face to face. There's no more the thick curtain, no more the thin veil. She is revealed to him face to face. Umalilat bahadeh, and she talks to him. Kol razin setimin, all the hidden secrets, all the concealed secrets. Dila, all her concealed secrets. Wechol arhin setimin, dehawo beliba, and all the concealed paths that were in her heart. My master would say and taught us, she doesn't have those bowels that you have. She doesn't have this soul that you have. But she has this heart. He says those ways are temirin miyumin kadma'in. They are actually concealed since the primordial days. Keden ihu barnash shelim. See, such a man is complete. Baal Torah. He is a master of Torah. He is really, you could say, the husband of Torah. Wadai mare deveta. Certainly the master of his house. Deha kol razin dila galiatle, because all the secrets of hers are revealed to him. Wela rehikat, and not, with distance. Wela kasiyat mine klum, and is not hidden, not concealed from him a thing. Amrale, she tells him, Hamid, si, Mila de Ramza de Kar Remizna Lach Bekadmita. See this matter that I was hinting to you, that I signaled to you, this very matter that had him pay attention to her, not to his thoughts, but to what concerns her, to her beauty. See those matters that were those remazim, remiza deoraita, this hint of Torah that I give you at the beginning. Kar wekar razin hao, karu wekaru. In other words, she takes back the very thing that she alluded to, the very things that were in hints, but that attracted, where he knew to let his attention be attracted to. And she tells him that's where it goes. So she has them pass through all the process of being from the remez to the drush. See where the Agada part is about it, and then where the razin, where the secrets are. Keden chame de al inun milin lav leosafa. He says on those matters, lav leosafa. One should not add. Welav limigra, and one should not deduct minayehu from them. Urden pashte. And now, the pshat of the matter. See, usually how we start the idea of pardes, the pshat of the matter, the literal aspect of the matter. Dekara kama dehu, as it is. Because you see, as it is what was revealed through those hints of Rawda. what was given further conversation, even through this parochet. You know, we have just the parochet here with the Aron HaKodesh. Even though it was through the parochet, but all those levels are needed till actually the veil, the sheet becomes very thin, to the point that she removes it. And she can be seen face to face. And there at that point, she takes back of, you know, this experience that you and I had. You know, this beauty you knew to see in me. Here's what it means. Here's what it says. Rawda bnei Nasha, הצטררו. Men need להזדרע ולמרדף עברך. They need to pay attention to her. They need to run after her, to pursue her. To actually be to her, the beloved. As was said. You see, when I heard this mashal said by my master many years ago, I did not believe him. I thought this was just a very nice story. I thought this was, an awesome story, beautifully written. But I did not believe him. And I truly ridiculed it. And I really didn't see what was about it. And when he finished explaining what underlies this, I went to a makolet. I went to a little, little market. And I lost balance in the supermarket. And I had a whole set of shelves that fell with me. And I fell head to head with a packet of biscuit, of awesome. And here it was written, Petit beurre. The very letters, Betaviud. And for years it gave me the fear of God. But I knew I had reached nothing. All I had reached is a sense of fear. And the power behind this mashal, of those words. But I didn't have that love. And I knew I couldn't count as a beloved. See, things take time. This relationship you build, this attention you build, takes time, a lot of effort. And I've had this accompaniment of this sending of those, letters to me at different stages of my life. When I arrived here in Tzfat, I lived in what's considered as the Darom here in Tzfat. And I started to go to a Tunisian synagogue. It was practical, but there was something I was relating to dearly. till one day I saw it. Over the Aron Kodesh. So beyond even the Parochta, even the Parochet. It was written, Amonai Sefatai Tiftar. Ufi Yagid Tefilater. But you know what? It turned out that the sin of Sefatai had fallen. And it was written, Petav Yud, above the Aron Kodesh, simpleton. And I had very holy brothers and souls who were learning with me at that point, and they heard that story and they just couldn't believe it. So they went to go see, they went to pray to the Mincha, and they saw the Al Kodesh, and they saw the sin that fall down. They went to the Gabbai and they said, when did the sin, fall down? And he gave the date, and that was exactly the month where I arrived in Tzfat. Now, I moved out of that place. And the month that followed, they repaired it. For, how many years did we say there? I forgot. 4 or 5 years. It wasn't repaired on the Aron Kodesh. All the time that I would still relate to this Bet HaKnesset, Oraita was sending me each time this letter saying, Bethy, simpleton. This is more than an idea. It needs the L at the end. It's an ideal. This is about giving her attention and knowing to see beyond the interests of our minds. And the concept of Chok Lisrael that the Ari has, that he gave us, which is this Chok, literally a law for Israel, is actually based on this idea. Now, of course, this is the ideal of the idea, but there are ways to actually build it up in order that Chok Israel doesn't become this impossible mission every week, as a way to, finish your learning of Torah, but as a way to profoundly relate to it. And I will be most happy if you tell me that you have not succeeded in doing so, even when I give you the particulars of it. And you know why? Because it means there's a chance for you. Because if directly you tell me that you've succeeded, I know this is all the superficiality of just like having learned and, having read Psukim and, all of that. And basically you missed the point. And if you have not succeeded at the beginning, it simply meant that your aesthetics for wisdom were, of course, altered by all your prior existence and your path. In one way, that's terrible, but on the other hand, to realize that is beautiful and essential. And once you can start realizing that, then the things that happen and question in matters of drawing down wisdom, of a contemplative approach to a writer, of knowing to see her beauty, is on another realm. And then your Chok Israel are the means by which you let that happen.
Can I ask a question? Why specifically Chok Israel is the key to connecting with the writer?
Because it goes through that path
of the
pshat, of knowing where it gets to the remez, allowing also the remes to be inside there, allowing it to get manifested. Now, of course, the ideal is not to have a set text. The ideal is to have learned, and that's why we're doing this Metalearning, is to have learned the way to compose it. Because the only thing which is fixed are the actual psukim of the Torah, where you would have the 6 first psukim of the parasha on the first day, then the 4 next ones, etc.
How many each day? 6 pasukim each day?
No, each day is a different story.
Oh, okay.
And that is this extraordinary law that Diari has given. But apart from that, and we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves because that's what we learned from Diari and Shah Mitzvot, but apart from that, nothing has much to change till the point that actually it changes for you the whole time. You see, you will have a point where you have it like almost set in stone, but in a minimal way that allows you to, get accustomed to things, get a sense of things. But then the goal is for this to be at such a dynamic that it even allows dialectics. It even allows you to deal with things that are supposedly contrary one to the other, but allow this, this living Torah within you. And, this beautiful mashal is the mashal given by Rabbi Abba Saba as he was revealed to Rabbi Yosef and Rabbi Chia. And I don't think it would be befitting to say much more.
So can I just ask one question? Is the idea that you stick to that text until the sod comes into you? And if so, does it change for one person to the other? Like when you move to the next...
We have one God. But each one has his oraita. And that's why one talks in this mashal about this exclusiveness. There has never been a problem that a community would have 100 Sifrei Torah in his own Kodesh.
Right.
Never been of such a problem.
Right.
There'll be a problem that you consider that you have a few gods to pray to, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And the matter is that to each man, his exclusive relation to Oraita, who is his beloved, but she is only to him the beloved.
Exclusively to him.
Exclusively to him. And so that's the point which we saw here when he said that each one of those words would be according to his path. So remember, there was those words there? But if you pay attention to when those words were said, according to his path, it's at the point of the drasha. So this is already the point which is after pshat, after remez. So in other words, it's even before sod. So that's the good news. You don't have to get to like the profoundness of sod for things to be just adapted to you. And if you allow it at the beginning, I will give some examples of how you can just have this nicely set, nicely adapted. But again, the goal is for you to have your own sense on how to, build this up. Because you are the beloved. Or you have the potential of being the beloved. And she not only has the potential, but she is supposed to be your beloved.
Can you just help us to visualize, if such a thing is possible, the Doraita? I've never come across this idea that you have a relationship with Doraita. What is Doraita? Is it
of Oraita himself?
Oraita.
Well, you see, Oraita corresponds,
I don't know how to...
Mute.
You did. I can't see it. You did? Okay. If you can explain to us what Oraita is, it's not something I've considered before.
Well, when we were in Gan Eden, did you have such a thing as trees?
Trees?
Yes.
I assume yes.
Well, that's what's written, right?
Yeah.
Was Etz Chaim separate from God? Well, what does don't go about like wanting to make this dogmatic or like fitting to theology.
Right.
Make it according to what's written in the Torah. Is HaKadosh Baruch Hu talking about the tree of life as being him?
I don't think so.
No, it's not, isn't it?
No.
So you do have in the Torah literally Etz Chaim as being a separate entity from God and a separate entity from men.
Right.
Right. Well, that's what Oraita is. That's the very reason what Oraita has this gematria of 628, just a remes to it, for those who want to see. And Chaim is the same, Mem Sofit counts as 600, the two Yudin as 20 with the Chet, it's 628. That's Oraita. But you see, what we learned in Maseret Shabbat about how to relate in the learning, the first matter, which is about all your activities, you need brachot in that. And that was connected to Seder Zra'im, which, the Masechta that you have to relate to in Seder Zra'im is obviously brachot. But pay attention to what the gematria of brachot is. Brachot is 628. And that's what you start relating to. You see, at the beginning of your sense of Oraita, a lot of it is related to the very brachot that you engage with. In fact, in your daily life, in your daily activity, you're not supposed to, have this partitioned life where you're going to have your learning, and only at that point you actually say brachot, but you make sure that in the rest of your life you don't say brachot. Obviously, your brachot should accompany all your life, your daily activity. And that is your first connection with Oraita is through your brachot. That's in a way how it starts. And it's a difficult path. Because you certainly, when someone goes into a certain path of teshuvah, or at least returning to a tzaddik nature of his person, then what does he or she do? Learns brachot, right? But once you think you actually know the bracha, you think you know your brachot, then what is there to relate to? What is there to do? It's like it's gone already. It's like you've seen all the robes of the beloved. You've seen all the, and you say, I know all there is to know. You think you do. So that's where also we'll take that learning. Gradually. That's about knowing to relate to that.
Thank you so much, Rabbi.